Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I am doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. Come sit on this big fake couch and let's just watch something really cool. This has come requested. We showed a video about the ferry that took on the Japanese fleet, and it's from our friends at Yarn Hub. Please go support them. They are awesome. I love their videos. I really, really do. Yes, they're animated, but they are brilliant. I love them, and they're just cool. And the animation is really draws you in. This is my opinion. I think it's very, very well done. These guys over there doing just a tremendous job. Of course, we're here with the wonderful Miss Violet. I don't know if you can see her down there, but this is kind of blows my mind. Enemy's bravery caused a German to ask for medal. No clue. No clue. This is pretty cool. I assume this is going to be during World War II. And so I'm excited to see this. I love watching the Yarn Hub, and I love when they're requested. And this has been requested. After we did that last video, this one was requested by several of you. So I'm excited to see it. So come, hang out with me, and let's check it out. What the heck happened?
It's the 8th of April 1940, deep in the North Sea west of Norway. Captain Roop is on the bridge of HMS Glowworm. On this day, he will perform such incredible feats of bravery that even his enemy will recommend him for a Victoria Cross.
For a Victoria Cross? Okay, not just any medal. He's shooting for the top, okay. Go big or go home. We're going full-on Victoria Cross. That is awesome. I've heard of the HMS, not the HMS. Gosh dang it, I hate when I do that. I've heard of HMS Glowworm. Sorry. I've heard of that ship, so I can't remember. It was in another video, so the ship itself does sound familiar to me. So, but yeah, North Sea. Okay, crazy.
Any contact with Renown? Negative, sir. But then a call comes through the voice tube.
Ship ahead!
Roop looks out from the bridge. In the distance, a hazy shadow moves between the mist. He gets a bad feeling. They can't be British. Demand they identify themselves. Sir, they claim they're Swedish. Swedish? What would they be doing here?
Oh, nope.
Those are Germans! Open fire! Later in the film, we'll tell you how you can get into the action by playing World of Warships, the sponsor of today's video. In the fog in the distance, the German destroyer fires again. Pandemonium is unleashed aboard the Glowworm as everyone runs for their battle stations, enemy shells striking the sea all around them. The four 120mm guns turn ominously for the enemy and unleash their salvo. The shells fly across the sky and slam into the water, just short. The enemy turns away, attempting to flee the engagement, but Roop won't let that happen quite so easily. Follow them! Full speed ahead!
The lightning in the background there.
Another ship is starboard! A second German destroyer emerges from the fog and they open fire. Columns of water lift from the ocean as the enemy's shells fall short, and Roop immediately orders to change their focus, and the Glowworm's guns swing towards the new opponent. The ship's guns open fire with a thunderous bang, propelling their shells across the sky. The British narrowly miss their mark, causing gigantic splashes near the enemy's flank. The German vessel deploys a heavy smokescreen as it attempts to disengage. Chase it down! Don't let it escape! Meanwhile, several nautical miles away, the German heavy cruiser, Admiral Hipper, sails with its fleet on their way to Norway.
Now I've heard of this Admiral Hipper. That sounds familiar.
Captain Helmut Hay is informed of the battle to the south and is ordered to relieve their ally. He doesn't need to be told twice. The 18,500-ton giant turns towards the battle. Meanwhile, HMS Glowworm punches through the waves, firing her guns in pursuit of the German warship, when suddenly the lookout spots something emerging from the fog.
Yeah, that's trouble.
Sir, massive ship ahead.
The battle comes to a halt as all eyes fall on the shadow ahead. Roop takes a look with his binoculars, and chills travel down his spine. That's not a friendly. The 4 Ford 203mm guns fire with a soul-shaking explosion, propelling half a ton worth of shells across the air, straight into the British destroyer and hitting the waves, spewing massive columns of seawater into the air.
Deploy smoke screen. Turn south. Warn the Admiralty. Aye, aye, sir. Deploy smoke screen. Deploy smoke screen. Radio the Admiral.
Glowworm turns away as fast as she can while black clouds billow from her smokestacks. A shell smashes into the Ford turret and another strikes the hull. The hunter has become the hunted as death rains down upon them until they finally disappear behind the smoke. Their chances are grim. They're completely outclassed, but Roop and the sailors are determined to fight. He orders to prepare the torpedoes.
Prepare the torpedoes. Yes, sir.
Full of determination, the Glowworm emerges through the smoke, sailing to the attack at full speed. They are immediately met with overwhelming firepower. Shells strike up and down the vessel, one striking amidships and severing the mast. But still they push on, and the 10 torpedoes launch from their tubes. Root immediately turns the ship around, dashing for cover as the cruiser punishes the little ship. Root orders to keep going. He can see the safety of the smoke ahead.
Just a little more. A little more.
A shell hits just behind the bridge. The explosion tearing through the wall and taking out multiple sailors and officers. At the hipper, Captain Hay watches the Glowworm disappear behind her smoke as the torpedoes approach. He keeps calm, ordering the ship to shoot for the gap between the encroaching bubble trails. The trail of bubbles come closer and closer, but they pass by harmlessly, just a few meters from the hull. On the other side, Roop gathers himself amidst the carnage. Glowworm is rushing to disengage, sailing away from the battle at full speed, hoping the smoke and torpedoes give them a way out. But then Roop looks back and witnesses the horrifying sight of an intact Admiral Hipper emerging from the smoke. The bombardment returns in full force, landing brutal hits on the small vessel. All hopes are dashed. They're alone, incapable of winning or escaping, but they won't go down without a fight.
Turn around and ram it. Aye, aye, sir.
HMS Glowworm speed.
So there's that bravery again. I mean, that ship, Admiral Hipper, I've heard of it before, and it's a beast in its own right. But just the sheer bravery that these guys, I mean, yeah, amazing, amazing. This is gripping.
Through the waves, dashing amidst a rain of high explosives. The Hipper unleashes all it has, guns big and small firing away at the approaching vessel. Captain Hay can't believe his eyes as the ship races towards them.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do, I guess?
The reality of what he's witnessing dawns upon him, and he orders immediate evasive maneuvers. But it's far too late. The Glowworm is dead set on its path. impact opens a gash on the Admiral Hipper and completely shreds the Glowworm's bow. The British warship lists rapidly and Captain Roop orders to abandon ship. At the Hipper, the ship is taking in water, but Captain Hay is informed they'll be able to contain it. Then he looks back at his opponent, burning and sinking. It's rolled over on its side, and he can see sailors sitting upon the sinking hull.
Wir kehren zurück. Bereit, Rettung, Maßnahmen vor.
On the water, Captain Roop hangs on to one of the life rafts with dozens of his crew. They're amazed to see the Hipper returning with rescue ropes hanging off the side. One by one, they're welcomed aboard by their once foes and given medical attention. Captain Hay oversees the operation, impressed at the bravery and will of the British crew. In the water, Roop desperately tries to save everyone. Many men are far too weak to hold onto the ropes and they fall back to the sea. He tries to get them back, to give them a second chance, but they're limp. They can't. Roop himself feels his strength leaving him. The frigid waters are sucking the life from his body. With a heavy heart, he realizes there's nothing he can do and grabs a rope. The sailors of the Hipper pull on the rope, lifting the captain from the waters little by little. He holds on with all his strength left, but it's too much. His grip weakens, and the rope escapes from his hands. Roop falls back into the sea, never to be seen again. Of HMS Glowworm's 146-man crew, only 31 would get to return home. A couple of months after the battle, Captain Hay would find a way to get a message through to the Royal Navy. In it, he detailed Captain Roop's incredible heroism, the stunning fight of the HMS Glowworm, the ship's sacrifice, and Captain Roop's dying acts. In the end of the letter, he demanded Roop to be decorated for his actions. Hay's detailing of the events would turn out to be pivotal, and with it, coupled with survivors' testimony, Captain Gerard Broadmead Roop was posthumously awarded the Victoria Cross for his gallantry, 5 years after his last stand.
Wow. That is awesome. So much to unpack there. What an incredible story. Just the sheer nuts and bravery to just turn around. I guess that's your best option. You're not going to outrun them, right? But still, just to have to say, you know what, a good, 3/4 of everybody on this ship is not going to survive, but this is what we're going to do. And it didn't bring that ship down, but it certainly probably put it out of the war for a little while, so it had to get repairs. And then the captain of the German vessel going back to pick up survivors. That's awesome too. I just love seeing stuff like that. And gosh, he couldn't hang on to the rope. You'd think they would just throw a raft in there or something, or if they had a raft for him to get. I don't know. What ifs? Really cool story, and that he did end up getting the Victoria Cross. Wonderful. Please go support this channel, Yarn Hub. Love it. They do all. It's not just British military. They do all kinds of stories. It's military stories and stuff like that. Not just of World War II, but please, it's worth it. If you enjoyed this, you'll love a lot of their stuff. So please go support their channel. And I hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Thanks for coming. This was awesome. What a cool story. Thanks for the suggestion. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll see you next week. All right. Take care. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. Yeah.